hey, let's spread the word around that there's a lot more to music than just major scales, major keys. And you could say like, oh, well, the minor keys too. Like, yeah, it's the same damn thing, but they always leave out harmonic minor, melodic minor, Hungarian minor, harmonic major. I know that's another one. There's just so much stuff out there. So let's start a movement to stop saying every key, because there's a lot out there. Way more than just your 12 major keys. I do like teaching students all that chord stuff, and that's one thing I do, like teach through triads, and then actually what I end up doing is have them put progressions together themselves using all that stuff. So you know what? Let's do that. So after going over some scale stuff, what I do with students to introduce the modes, or not the modes, to start introducing chord theory, we go over triads first, basically what was shown in the Creative Guitar Studios YouTube video. And it talks about your major chord, your minor chord, diminished, and another triad that is not found in a major scale, your augmented chord. So he was focused on these guys right here. And then if you look down at the bottom, this is how those chords are laid out in every major key. Not every key period, but every major key. It seems to be a common thing when people are teaching stuff online. So always say every key, every mode, and they're only referring to stuff that comes from the major scale. So hey, let's spread the word around that there's a lot more to music than just major scales, major keys. And you could say like, oh, well, the minor keys too. Like, yeah, it's the same damn thing, but they always leave out harmonic minor, melodic minor, Hungarian minor, harmonic major. I know that's another one. There's just so much stuff out there. So let's start a movement to stop saying every key, because there's a lot out there. Way more than just your 12 major keys. Anyway, so yeah, I explain this stuff, and then I have people do what my teacher did, and that's figure out the 3 notes to make up all kinds of major chords, minor chords, diminished, and augmented, to understand like how all the theory stuff works together. And I'm not going to get too much detail here, but yeah, we learn this, and then what we end up doing next. Let's see. All right, so this is what I give people next, and this also follows the circle of fifths and circle of fourths. I like to refer to it as fifths and fourths, because fifths for the sharp keys, fourths for the flat keys. But anyway, that is what I do. So, in the video we just looked at, he talks about, the Roman numerals, the chord positions, and yes, this is true. It's universal for every single major key. The first, fourth, and fifth chords of a major key can always be major, and the second, third, sixth chords can always be minor. The seventh chord can always be diminished. I'm saying can because there's a lot more stuff that happens in each of these positions, such as first position, you have a major chord. You also have suspended second, suspended fourth. You have a major seventh. You have a major 9. You can have an add 9, add 11, major 13, so on. But anyway, when it comes to just triad chords, if it's just triads, major, minor, diminished, yes, the 1, 4, 5 always major, 2, 3, 6 always minor, and the 7th is always diminished. So, and I have this laid out so the student always sees the same Roman numeral always, every single time. So no matter what, this will always be major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. So like here we have the key of C. The chords we would get would be C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. And then we got 1 sharp, which would give us the key of G. So then we would have G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished. And the next key, which is the key of D, triads anyway, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, and then G major, A major, B minor, and then C sharp diminished. So yeah, that happens every single time. So what I do is I have students fill all this stuff out and then have them do a numbered chord progression practice thing. So yes, I have everyone play this stuff in 3 keys. And I typically have, we stay in those 3 keys quite a lot. Or quite a lot. I word well. Yeah, so once students have all that big old thing filled out, then I have them practice this thing. This way you get used to seeing the Roman numerals and putting the chords in position. So you just get used to seeing, like, this is where all the majors are, the minors are, and so on. So we're looking at that first progression there. You have, again, we're going to start with the key of C, so the 1, 6, 3, 5. So that's C major, A minor, E minor, G major. So the 1, 6, 3, 5. 1, 6, 3, 5. And then we go on to the next progression. So 2 would be D minor, A minor, F, G, 2, 6, 4, 5, 2. And we do the same thing for the next progression. Stay in the key of C, then do the last progression key of C, and then I have students do all 4 progressions again, but in the key of G. So the key of G, we'd have the 1 is G, 6 is E minor, the 3 is B minor, and the 5 is D major. So 1, 6, 3, 5, 1, 6, 3, 5, 1. And then the same progression with the key of F. You'd have 1 is F, 6 is D minor, 3 is A minor, and then C is the 5. 1, 6, 3, 5. And then, after students go through that, the next thing we do is very similar to what was shown in the video we just looked at. So yeah, I give them this guy here where your bare minimum triad right there. So just 3 string triad chords where it's just the root, 3rd, and the 5th. So it's all stacked up in order. That would be your root, flat 3rd, and 5. And you're just going up in key there, just the key of C. And then once they go through that, I have them figure out how to play all those chords again, but starting on the A string. So again, you'd have your C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C major, and then move them up to start on the D string. So C major, D minor, E minor in the open position, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and then move it up one more time to start root note on the G string, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, open position, A minor, B diminished. And then what I have them do is label a bunch of stuff. Let's see, needs labeling, here it is. Basically take those chords and then put them in progressions here, but we arpeggiate them, so this way you make sure you hear all the notes ringing out properly. We don't want, because there's one issue if you strum chords. A lot of times your ear may not be developed enough to tell if you're muting strings or muting notes within a chord shape. So I really like people to arpeggiate chords that they're holding to make sure every single note rings out. Because sometimes, like, let's see, let's do this. Some people might think that sounds fine, but I'm purposely muting some stuff right now. See, it's a bit more full. You can hear notes here. Notes here. Right now you can hear notes, but stuff's being muted. And now it's all ringing out and arpeggiating those. Make sure you can hear it all. And like there, arpeggiating it, you can hear certain things are not ringing out so well anymore. So, hey, that's one reason I have people arpeggiate this stuff. So basically, I have them play what's there and then label it. The chord name and the Roman numeral associated with it. So that's your C, which is the 1, F major is the 4, G major the 5, back to F major the 4, then repeat. And then we also play the mode associated with that position there, which would be C Ionian, which is also your C major scale. So have them label all that, and then they have to play through everything instead of just labeling it all. Gotta be able to play it too. And then once they can do that, then I give them this. Let's see, where is it at? Need to fill it in. There we go. So here now it's all blank. So what I do, like this one here, we started the first progression on the low E. Well, now we're going to use the A string as our root note. And then what I have students do is to apply all that stuff they practice. Well, now it's their turn. They start here with that C chord. They have to navigate the fretboard to see what's the most efficient way of going from one chord to the next. And we end with that mode same way as the other thing was. So this way you get chord stuff in there. You also get some scale work thrown in as well. And then after that, to drive home more triad info, give them so here is just, instead of playing or holding a chord, now it's playing one note at a time like that. So playing an arpeggio, more like a riff. And then they take all that stuff and move it up a string again. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished. Move that up a string. C major, D minor, E minor, open E minor, F, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and so on. And then they also have this, where same arpeggios, but just structured slightly different in terms of how the strings are going. So the first way, root note was by itself. Here, the fifth interval is by itself. But they play what's already written, and then they move it up here. So this way they're seeing triads done several different ways, all up and down the fretboard. And then once they do that, once they get that all filled in, I give them this. So I give them the first two that are done, so they can see how it's supposed to be played. And just like the chords that you held down, well, just making progressions with these. And it's really, again, it's the same progression as what we've already done. So like right there, it's 1 4 5 4. So one way you can do it is this: 1 4 5, 4. You also do 4, 5, 4. Oh, so many places to do it too. So that's what I like to do with people. I used to go more in depth with some stuff, and sometimes I wonder if I should have kept doing it that way, because sometimes it feels like certain stuff is forgotten a little too easily. Maybe some people, they need to have more in-depth training with this stuff. Eventually I also go into inversions, but I usually wait until harmonic minor to start doing that. And we looked at inversions earlier while checking out the video we looked at the start of this reaction thing. But like taking this chord here, the C major, C, E, G, like the first inversion of that would be starting on the E note, going E, G, C. So same notes, structured a little bit different there. And then the next inversion, you would have the G first, then the C, then the E. So G, C, E. So those are 3 ways of playing a C major chord by using inversions. So yeah, you can get crazy in depth with all this stuff there.